It's February 28th and the new terms of service are here for NBA 2K24, and let's go over some of the facts about it. Let's get into it. Around the same time that EA with Star Wars Battlefront 2 was basically incentivizing children to gamble and was found legally by the courts to be predatory in their practices for their loot boxes, they had to restructure their loot box system and completely change the way they operated with their microtransactions. 2K, with game modes like My Team, was also coming under flack legally for very similar things. Also, like gambling for children and things of that nature, due to the fact that it's pay to win. A lot of times, you pay for cards. Right now, 100 overall Shaq on the market in My Team. Someone paid $7,000 opening pack, still didn't get it. It's pretty wild. 2K has been under flack for microtransactions, both legally and by the community, for many, many years now. This is nothing new. Their response to that flack is this. Their new terms of service say that you cannot file a class action lawsuit against them for anything related to the purchase of virtual currency or the things that virtual currency can purchase inside of the game. That means that if they suddenly shut off a server full of your 2K, old 2K currency, they're not liable for that. That means that if they change something in the store, it was there one peak, you could buy it, you could purchase it, and now it's gone forever, you can't do that anymore. They're not under flack. And that also means that for things related very similar to child gambling, because this game is E for everyone, they cannot come under flack the way they would have before this contract existed. So a lot of people want to hear my opinion about it. People have been asking the entire community. Actually, content creators have been under flack by other content creators for not sharing their opinions. Today, I wanted to share my opinion about it. Before I could do that, I need to tell you guys the origin story of how I became a 2K player. So let's get into that. It was my first year in college, was really big into Madden. I think I was 17 at the time. We had a group of friends come over. It was my friend Juicy, my friend Shy, friend Tyler, and they had this other dude, Damar, who was like the king of 2K, right? He used to kill everyone in 2K, he used to bet people, take their money. You know, it was some wild shit going on. They had 2K14. I didn't pay for it. I didn't pay for the PS3 we were playing at the time either. That was my roommate's PS3. I was a broke college student. They introduced me to 2K, and we're playing Play Now, and Dumar would always tell me about like little tricks inside the game. Like he taught me, like, if you use like the Thunder and then you take Kevin Durant and then you just cherry pick the second the shot goes up, like 94 feet, just cherry pick, and then you pass the ball to Russell Westbrook, no matter how far out in the break, as long as you don't throw it with the center, as long as you throw it with Russell Westbrook, he'll always complete the pass to Kevin Durant and you'll always be able to go dunk it. He used to get, you know, like 70 points a game with Kevin Durant off of cherry picking. I had a Bulls hat. It was a black and blue Bulls hat. I was really happy about this hat. I threw that hat across the room so bad one day, scuffed the hat all up. It was really nice. I liked that hat. And I was so angry, like losing by cherry picking. But like he taught me like things about the game. Like, yo, you know, you're looking at it from the wrong aspect, you know, just like have fun, play the game. Like it's part of the game. And I did. I learned little tricks and secrets. I became like a little Play Now guru. I was using the Thunder. I would take like, you know, 40 dribble pull-ups with Russell Westbrook a game back when he had like that midi was crazy. That was before my career, any of that stuff even like existed. At least in my mind, before it existed. Like I know they introduced it, I think, in 2K14, and then it became more popular 2K15, 16, but 2K14 I was just playing out. My roommate in Near wanted to experiment with new things. He told me, hey, come over to my career. They got this cool mode, you can make your own player. And I was kind of like, yeah, I mean, that sounds cool, but like, I don't know, like, what do you gotta do? Like, how does it work? And da-da-da. You gotta use some of this VC that you've earned to go build this player, and then you play with them online, and you can play with friends and stuff and team up, and then you just play against other people who have created players. And instead of controlling an entire team full of people, you're just one of the people on the team. And I felt like I had seen concepts like that before in sports games fail like horribly. Like every time Madden ever did something like that, I thought it was trash. Every time, you know, any of the NCAA games did stuff like that, I was like, I don't think that's very good. It wasn't well implemented to me. But when I tried it in 2K, I was like, yo, this is pretty cool. Like you really are one of the players in the team, and you really do have like a skill set. I mean, like everyone could kind of do everything at the time. It wasn't as, roles weren't as defined back in 2K15, but still, there was like inside outside players, or there was like, I don't know, it was just different. It was different at that time. I fell in love with it, and I started getting like, I had a lot of time in college to play video games, so I started like getting real serious about it and trying to play it a lot. I wasn't good, but I was definitely trying to like play it a lot. You know, 2K16, 17 rolls around, and they're starting to come out with like archetypes now. You can be an archetype, pick your archetype, you're this one thing. You can still do other stuff if you know how to play, but you're like, this is your main thing you do. And I love slashing, because I love dunking on people, man. I love putting people in that rim. And I felt like I was really good at dunking too. Really catapulted my confidence too, because like I got adopted into a friend group. This dude, J Anime was his name at the time, and he had this group of friends he rolled with, and he kind of like taught me how to play like more competitive game modes, like. And we were in the rec, don't get me wrong, but to me at the time, because I was just played Park, I thought rec was incredibly competitive. I was like, yo, this is insane, because like I was only playing like a max of 3v3, and it's really easy to score and do everything in 3v3. In fives, it's confusing. It's like there's so many people on the court. How do I know who to pass it to and where to go? It's wild. And he made it easy for me because he was a pass first point guard. They could still score like crazy, but he was pass first, and he let everyone get their touches, very unselfish. It led to a lot of winning basketball. The way he built and constructed teams, you know, that was really cool. You know, all that to say, every year I played 2K15, 2K16, 2K17, I never paid for VC. I played Play Now really heavy all those years, and then I would flip over and then play My Career. So it was like Play Now and then My Career. Like I was doing both. Like I can sit, what 2K was to me was a Play Now game that also had My Career. And then right around 2K17, in my brain, it became a My Career game that also had Play. Like actually maybe like 2K18. It became a My Career game that also had Play Now. 2K18 was the first year I sat down with a room full of grown adults and said, hey, what are you gonna make next year? What are you gonna make next year? Well, I wanna make something that works for what you guys make, and you guys should make something that works for what I make, so we can all play together more next year, because we like playing together. We started having those conversations. And I don't even think it was until 2K19 that I actually paid for VC for the first time. That was the first 2K I ever paid for VC. And I was super serious in 2K19. I had above a 90 win percentage in every game mode I played. I never went below that. I still was a pure slasher, but I was a pure slasher that shot threes like crazy. Because they had the glitch back then. You could have the jump shot 24 or like whatever the jump shots were at the time that were like really, you know, like you could still hit with them basically with a really low three ball. They had those glitches. I got the opportunity to actually play a lot of really good Park players. With both my slasher and my shot creator. I remember I beat a lot of people that were like those community event winners, the Ruffles winners, and the stage players with my slasher. And then I even got to play against Steezo 2 times. One on my pure slasher, and that was when I was like, I didn't have like a center with me. It was on 2s. I had like, it was a pure slasher and a pure shot creator, and it wasn't a good lineup. And so it's like we competed, but we lost. But then I played him again later when I did have a center, and I had my pure shot creator, and I was doing moves that I swear no one else on a 6'8" pure shot creator in 2K19 was doing. I was hitting these crazy step back green threes going like 7-7 in games. And against Steezo, I went up against him, I think 19-4 in the game. All I had to do was get one more bucket. And like, man, I don't know what it was, man. He locked up real hard. I sold the bag. It was crazy. You know, but I would always remember that I had him at 19-4, and I was like, yo, like, I did that against who I think, you know, is the best player in the community. Like, I didn't like playing against him personally. And by the way, still to this day, he's probably the best player to ever pick up the sticks. It's just being honest. With my nostalgia about that, you know, just no offense to anyone else. I used to average 70 in the Pro-Am. Like, what? Got more competitive in the 2K, and because I got more competitive in the 2K, and I was working in real life, I was a grown adult by this point. You know, I was starting to come out of college. I was getting to the point. 2K20 now, we have COVID. We got that COVID layover. You don't mind spending a couple extra dollars on a video game because of like you have nothing to do. So spending $50 on a player in 2K20 didn't feel like a crazy thing, because it was like, this game is really fun. Like, it's a good game. There's a lot of aspects of it I like. 2K21 rolls around. There's this big shift because it's the PS4 versus the PS5. So there's that shift happening. And it kind of feels like, who's going to get the PS5? It's hard to get. Now it's like $100 to make a build. I'm working in mortgage. I got a good job, right? I'm making a decent amount of money. I got money in my savings at the time. I think at the beginning of 2K20, because there was a shift. At the time, I think I was still living at my mother's house, living rent-free, very privileged lifestyle, privileged. And I was very blessed. I was blessed and highly favored to have that opportunity to save up that money. And so for me, spending $100 on a player wasn't like, it was a big deal, because it wasn't like $100 wasn't a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but it was like, I viewed this whole thing as an opportunity, because like at the time, 2K22, pardon me, I had just gotten my first, my first brand reached out to me about this stuff. Bleacher Report reached out to me, put me on their TikTok, put me on their YouTube for my Jamal Crawford mixtape in 2K22. And it featured me on a bunch of stuff. And then other brands started reaching out to me for payments about stuff and doing ads and then featuring my work. And people even reached out to me privately about editing for them and about doing some of that work. So, you know, this was a business to me. So again, like in my mindset, I'm like, I have money, I'm making money, like this is not a big deal. Well, fast forward, right? 2K24, this contract is out. I can tell you that I'm not in the financial situation I was before. You know, I just don't got it like that, period. You know, I'm married right now. You know, I have like a family to think about. And looking back at all of this, right now the situation that I'm in is, every time I want to make a new build, you know, it costs $100. The community asks me to make builds. Like, I have people hit me up on TikTok, people hit me up on YouTube. Hey, T-Cat, you should make like a big man that does this. Hey, T-Cat, you should make a, you know, a Luka Doncic build. You should make a Rajon Rondo build, a John Wall build. You should make a Prime D Rose build. And like, I want to make all these builds, man. I want to make all these builds, you know, because I love these players too. But like, it's $100 a build now. And boosts are more expensive than they've ever been in the past. In 2K17, boosts weren't, you know, 10,000 to get fully boosted. It just didn't cost that much. And even if it did, you could earn that playing in the game. You can't earn VC playing My Career anymore. You can't earn VC playing Play Now. Like, you can earn like a tiny bit, but they've been cutting the prices of that stuff across the board for years now. They've been lessening the amount you earn, and they've been raising the amount it costs for years now with 2K. And, you know, I gotta tell you, it makes it really hard as a content creator. You know, if I'm not making a lot of money off this, if I'm not getting like a brand deal like on a specific month, you know, to help me kind of with some of these expenses, you know, it's really tough to make these extra builds. And I gotta tell you, looking back at it, when I first came to 2K in 2K14, I would have never have been able to even discover 2K as a video game if the microtransactions were where they were then, where they are now, then. Because I didn't have money in college when I was young. I had to, you know, I didn't have a car. I didn't have anywhere to get around. I had to beg people to drive me places. I had to walk miles every day in the snow. It was tough back then, you know. And I think with this contract, what we're going to see as a community is that this is going to be something we look back on as, this is when 2K crippled themselves with this contract. This is going to be the thing that did it, because there's always been a time, and I'm being honest. I'm not promoting anything. I really am not, but there's always a way when you have a big business or corporation, if you're the little man, to kind of take advantage of the fact that they don't want to do extra work. It takes them, their time is not worth you know, the amount of money you might get out of it. So like, let's say if you were to hit up 2K and be like, oh, y'all deleted some of my players, can I get some VC back? They've always been slow about it, but usually they get back to people, they refund money, they, you know, help recover players, or like you can call like PlayStation Network and being like, hey, like I didn't make these purchases or something. Again, I've never done that. I don't recommend anyone else doing it. I'm not promoting anything, but like stuff like that, right? Like there's ways to get an edge and all that stuff, because if you, the little man, feel like you're being cheated all throughout history, there's that Robin Hood thing of feeling like you're gonna steal from the rich and give to the poor, you know. And damn if I wasn't if I wasn't poor in college, you know what I mean. Highly blessed, highly favored, don't get me wrong, I'm very privileged, but didn't have enough money to buy VC, that's for sure. This is going to be the thing that stops new players from playing the game. There's not going to be a whole new, there's no next generation of 2K players. 2K players are getting older and older every year. Unless you're rich, unless you just have a lot of extra money, unless you're retired, unless you just have a really good job, and the job, you have a lot of free time to play the game, because you have to have free time to play this game too. This game takes a lot of time to learn, to play like at a competitive level. You're screwed. You're not going to be able to play the game, and they're screwing themselves. All the 2K players are getting older. There's going to be a generational divide. If they ever open it back up, there's going to be this lost gap of people that might not be recoverable. You know, it's going to be just these old people and these young people. If they ever bring back like the ability to just earn VC, or they ever lower the prices, or they ever get rid of this. And my opinion about the whole thing is, I know that's long-winded. I know it took a long time on this, guys. But my opinion about all this is just quite simply, this is predatory. They are targeting children. They are trying to take advantage of parents, and they're trying to steal people's money. Point blank and period. This is not okay. It shouldn't be okay. I'm a grown adult. I can make my own decisions as a grown adult. So if I agree to this, if I say, okay, I'm going to do this, that's my decision. That's not predatory. That's me as an adult. I'm 28 years old now. I can make that decision. That's not a problem. But like, when you got 13-year-olds agreeing to this, what are we doing? We've got people paying $7,000 in the packs in my team for a card that they still don't get. A card that's going to give them a competitive advantage in the game if they get it. It's pure luck and gambling if they get it, and they have to spend money on it to get it. They cannot earn it in game. What are we doing? This is, yeah, when Troydan does it, it's funny because he's an adult. But imagine if he was 13. Imagine if he was a 10-year-old kid spending his dad's money on the game like that. Imagine if he borrowed money from his friends at school, if he lied, cheated, stole to get money to put towards this game, which he gambled away, and then even in gambling he lost. He didn't get the damn thing he was looking for. That's predatory. That is predatory behavior, and I'm gonna end the video right there. I'm not okay with what 2K is doing. As an adult, I am gonna make the decision to agree to this because it's my decision as an adult. I don't recommend other people doing that. And I'm saying that, and that's gonna make me lose my audience, my target audience, because if people walk away, I obviously lose my target audience for YouTube and TikTok and all that stuff, but it is what it is. I don't condone anything 2K is doing with this contract. It's predatory, it's wrong, and regardless of what we do, they are going to feel the effects of it because people just won't be able to afford this game moving forward. And this whole thing is wrong. This whole thing is very wrong. I'm still going to make content later, but yeah, thank y'all for watching. Let me know down below what y'all think, and as always, have a wonderful rest of your day.